So here's little rooster. He's just had another fit. He hasn't done very well. He's not eating now. He is drinking. He doesn't really want to eat. Got a bit of nettle. I made him some nettle tea last night. It's a bit of a detox, so I don't know what it is that's causing this. But he did nothing but fit all night again. And so it goes on. Here he goes again. All right, little man. All right, okay. Up. Okay. Okay. You stand up again. Steady. Honestly, do not know what this is. But it seems to be every time he eats or drinks something, he has a fit. And if I wasn't there, because he seems to aim for my legs. I know when he's going to do it, he sort of goes rigid, shuts his eyes, and try and eat something. Try. There's a bit of corn there, look. But so he aims for my legs, and he pushes himself against my legs and goes all rigid and opens his mouth to gulp for air and rolls his head. It's absolutely awful. And of course, if I wasn't there, like when he's in the cage at night, or if I'd leave him out here to try and think of something else to give him to encourage him to eat, he just throws himself all over the place like a headless chicken. Here he goes again. Oh God, there he goes. Oh dear. Oh, little man, let me catch you. Oh. Come on. You missed my leg. Yes, you did. You missed my leg. Oh dear. Yeah, they're more regular now after his 2 hours of not having a fit at all and actually being able to sleep. They're now coming about every 2-3 minutes. Hey, little man. He did have lice. Well, I couldn't find any live ones on him, but he had thousands and thousands of egg cases not round his bottom, in the middle of his belly, just behind his, well, after his rib cage, between his bottom and his rib cage. So I spent about an hour cutting those off and pulling off the rest that I could find, that right down on the skin that obviously couldn't cut. I gave him a good dusting with diatomaceous earth, and then the next day I put him in the wallowing hole they have out there that's full of broken up earth and whatnot, and gave him a good old rub down with that, and he really enjoyed that. He stood bolt upright and lifted his head up, and he really loved me rubbing him down with that. So he's obviously had something going on for a long time that he hasn't been able to dust out in the patch he was in with his brothers. And I put them out there simply so they could dust, but he obviously didn't. But they were fresh lice eggs. What have you got here? Oh, it's just where you got any feathers coming through. Okay. And I've been doing that sort of every 3 days, giving him a dust in the wallowing hole, and then giving him a good dusting with diatomaceous earth. And I'll say he certainly hasn't got any live ones on him, but that obviously didn't do him any good. I gave him some elderberry glycerite that I make up for me grandkids. Gave him 3 drops of that in water for 3 days to build up his iron, perhaps thinking that his iron count was low, if he was being eaten alive by lice, even though I couldn't see any of the devils. To bring that back up, a bit of sugar in case he's low in sugar as well. There's a couple of grains of sugar in his water, and so now I've got nettle in it as well as a detox. in case it's a toxin that's causing this. But so he's not really eating now. He hasn't eaten for 18 hours, so it's not going to do him any good. And his little comb, I say, bright blood red and full and upright, and he's all bruised and battered and drooping. So one minute it's boiling hot and the next minute it's cold, so I don't know quite what's going on there. You lay down and die on me now, are you, little man? I've tried natural yoghurt, but I can't put anything down his throat. I can't syringe anything because of fear that he's going to fit and choke and drown. I'll never forgive myself. But before he does these fits, he sort of makes an expulsion of air sound. His belly, his gizzard, his intestines make a weird gurgling noise. Well, no, not really a gurgle, more like a clicking, watery clicking noise. It's a weird noise. And he has a smell about him that obviously comes out of his mouth, but it's not a sour crop smell. It almost smells like a gizzard smell, you know, when you're butchering them, and perhaps like with me, I hang them for 2 or 3 days, and the gizzard has a sort of a smell about it that's quite disgusting. It's certainly not a sour crop smell. It's that sort of smell that comes out of him. Whereas yesterday, after he'd had a drink, last night, he didn't fit, and you could actually hear the liquid going down. You know, it was making proper gurgling noises as it went down, and I say he didn't fit. He didn't fit for 2 hours. Let's go turn this off and try and stand him up. Right, I stood him up. He didn't fit. Well, he did fit actually when I stood him up. I'm trying to eat something. I think I'll mix up some brown bread and natural yoghurt and see if he'll eat that. Because if he doesn't eat, he's just going to get weaker and weaker and weaker. Right, little man, and with all this fitting he's doing, he's going to be dead within, I don't know, 36 hours. Not before. There's a turkey. There's a turkey lurkey. Yeah, real trouble with the turkeys I've had too. 2 of them decided they were going to try and kill each other. No, you don't want that. No. Something to drink, and then you'll fit again, no doubt. No, no, I've just spilt most of that. Are you going to go again? Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Steady, 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 steady. Oh my God. No, 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 no. Wasn't quite so aggressive as before. Oh dear. Tongue doesn't look very clever. No, it doesn't. I don't think it's aspergillosis. Because he doesn't breathe through his mouth when he's not having a fit. And this causes aspergillosis of the brain, in which case there's not much. And he's all hot under his wings now. Why are you so hot under your wings? I did try him with antibiotics for a couple of days. It didn't seem to make any difference. It didn't make him any worse. I didn't see any improvement, so no, I'm not going to give you that for a minute. Yes, the turkeys. Don't know if it's the one dusting or not. But about 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago, 2 of them decided they would ride each other. They're both acting like a pair of males, and they'll take it in turns to mount each other, and I thought this is going to end in tears. And of course it did. Old Lopalong and Scarface. Where's Scarface? There's Scarface coming towards us. She had both sides of her face torn to shreds by old Lopalong, who's in the dust dust bath, I think. And she was the one that was badly injured by Morris, and she's got a slight limp. Yeah, you're going to end up with real lung problems with that, I think. Earth. Anyway, they decided they were going to go for it tooth and nail. Beaks interlocked in each other's mouths, absolutely dreadful, tore each other to shreds. So, for 3 days I'll take one out. Yeah, that is lop along. So she was the one that was really badly torn to shreds by Morris. Just got a slight limp now. Oh my God, here we go. Here we go. No. No, little man, sorry, I wasn't watching you. No, I wasn't. Oh, little love. Yeah. You stand up. You try and stand up, baby. You can't see. You can't see. There you go. There you go. There. What's the matter with you, eh? Oh, Skullface. Yeah, so for 3 days I would shut one in the stable, let her out every morning with the others, see what happened. Just all out war with the 2 of them. So then I'll put the other one in the stable for 3 days, and I've done that for weeks and weeks and weeks. Then it was every day I would change over. I would put them out in the big patch out there. That's poor little Rooster's brother. That's Floyd. Pretty boy Floyd. Yeah, hey. And there's me 2 that I'm retaining over there. Old Ginger's last baby. Boots. The bare neck. And where is he? Where's he gone? There, Muriel's last baby before she got killed by the weasel. A stoat. No, it was a stoat killed her. Oh, it might have been a martin. But that's her baby, and that's her son, and that's Ginger's son. Ginger's about 13 years old. 13, 14 years old, and she's still laying. Bless her. She wasn't very well the other day, but I put her out on some grass for a few days, and she's recovered, so she obviously had a fatty liver, which has repaired itself to a degree, but I'll have to keep an eye on her. I'll say she's very old, so. Anyway, so that went on for weeks. One day, one in the stable, the next day the other one in the stable. I put them out there to see if space would help, but it wouldn't. And then yesterday we had a breakthrough. Old Skullface decided she wasn't going to stand up to lop along here and or there, wherever she is, gone now. And although lop along tried desperately to create war, Scarface wasn't having anything to do with it, so peace has been resumed. And as for little girl over there, who's the sister of the last little turkeys I bred, of the little brother that died of blackhead disease, and she then got it about a month later, but I managed to cure her, so he obviously wasn't going to make old bones. Are you going to go again, little man? Oh, quick! Quick! There we are. There we are. Okay. 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 Alright. We got there in time this time. Alright. No. Oh, you poor little love. Yeah. Okay. You level? You upright? There you go. There we are. Yeah, about every 2 or 3 months she goes down with something, I don't know what it is. And we give her cat's claw, we give her natural yoghurt because she has a smell about her too. So perhaps it's something that's around, I just don't know what it is. But she has a dreadful smell about her, and it's not sauerkraut, but I give her natural yoghurt anyway because it's something to mix the cat's claw in with, and I do that for about anything between 3 days to a week. I give her antibiotics for 3 days, I give those in the morning. And then I give her natural yoghurt and cat's claw in the evening. And then I carry on with the cat's claw and natural yoghurt, I don't know, up to 2 weeks, once a day. And then all of a sudden she's fine again. And then we're perfect for a matter of weeks, maybe a month and a half, 2 months, then we go again. I've now been treating her for 3 weeks, and nothing seems to... And she's not getting any worse, but now she's got the problem with her breathing. She doesn't breathe through her mouth, but any form of overexertion, and she gurgles. She sounds like she's drowning. She doesn't breathe with her mouth open. She just has this dreadful gurgling, so I have to be very careful if she does that when I'm trying to administer the natural yogurt and cat's claw to her, because otherwise she does choke. So it's a very painful process. Can take anything up to an hour of giving her a little bit and often to get the whole 30 mils into her. Absolute bloody purgatory. My back is busted, so are my knees. I've got bare knees, sort of kneeling, and, you know, trying to keep her still and trying to stop them choking. Oh, absolute purgatory. So that's all been going on as well. So what with the rooster, the 2 warring turkeys, and her, it's an absolute pain, absolute purgatory. I mean, she's not getting any worse, but she's not 100% either. I did wonder if she had a problem with her egg-laying equipment. She wants to dust, she just shakes herself, but then doesn't bother to dust, so I have to put her in the dusting hole every 3 or 4 days and give her a rub down with the stuff in there to keep the lice down. I didn't do a diatomaceous earth because the dust, I think, will probably kill her. She breathes that in, as she seems to have a problem with her lungs. She's probably got aspergillosis in the lungs, but where she got it from, God knows. It's certainly not cat's claw or coccidiosis or something like that. It's not the bacterial thing. I suppose it might be a form of pneumonia or pleurisy, but it's probably a form of aspergillosis in the lungs. The cat's claw is sort of keeping it under control because it's helping to boost her immunity to fight it herself, and of course the natural yogurt is antifungal, so whether that'll help or not, who knows, but they can't do any harm. But she's not actually getting rid of it. It's not actually going this time, whereas normally I do manage to cure it. So perhaps it isn't aspergillosis, I don't know what it is, it's just something peculiar with her, but she's certainly not going to make whole bones. Well, you're old girl. But at least the other 2 have stopped warring now, so that's something. We'll go and lay then. Now you're laying, you've decided you're not going to war with old what's-her-face, haven't you? Oh, limp along, lop along, whatever. Yeah, but... No, I thought it was the brother of these 2, the Rhode Island. He was a nice little rooster. Well, it's quite a big rooster. I thought it was him attacking him. He didn't actually attack as such. He would grab his back feathers and then jump on him and then pull his back feathers out. So I wondered if it was him that actually created his problem and damaged his spine, to do with the fitting, you know, neurological damage. I mean, he's been peculiar for about 3 weeks. He did a lot of stomping, walk, and you could really hear him. He'd stomp like that ridiculous cockatoo or cockatiel, whatever it is, on YouTube, that loves it, or the parrot thing. No, it's not a cockatiel, I don't know what it is. The parrot thing, anyway, that loves the sound of its own feet and goes slapping along the floor, making a hell of, oh, you need water, okay, girl. Slopping along the floor. He would sound like that, and he would sort of crouch and really slam his feet down, and he did that for about a week. And then after that week, the water drinker was turned over, and he was, you know, I didn't know what had gone on. I thought perhaps they'd been fighting, so redid that, and then the next morning it was turned over again, and I thought he looked a bit peculiar, so I gave him a drink out of drinker when I redid it, and he was desperately thirsty, so I thought, oh God, he's, you know, been getting dehydration. I took the other rooster out, the Rhode Island, out and put him in the freezer. That was then, you know, I killed him and he's in the freezer now, and left him with old Floyd there, and he went wandering outside quite happily, and then he started throwing himself around. So I left him for that day, because then he would get up and carry on pecking around and scratching, and, you know, being a perfectly normal rooster, so I thought perhaps it was just a dehydration. Made sure he kept drinking. And then the next day, The perch thing that I made for them was on the floor and in bits. The drinker was everywhere. He'd even knocked the bottom off of the feeder, and he was just throwing himself around the stable. And I say he's been in the house ever since. I had him in the cat box to try and keep him still, to immobilise him, because he'd bashed himself up so badly, his head and his eye. And he damaged his wing as well. That was sort of all limp, so, and that's probably why it's hot underneath it, that's damaged. So I kept him in the cat box for a couple of days to try and keep him restricted. And his fits are so violent, stand up, there you go, that he knocked a massive hole in the cat box and got his foot stuck. So that was the end of that, and that's the end of my cat box. So I decided that wasn't any good, so that's why I put him in the cage. And the way he can throw himself around in that and damage himself, you know, the stress factor isn't there, because I wondered if being in the cat box and being confined was stressing him out further and making the situation worse, but it wasn't, because it's no different being loose, you know, in the cage. But his poor little eye, although it is looking a little better now, but I have to bathe it open every morning. They're all cold again. That don't feel good. No, that's got fluid in it now. What the hell? It's got a big lump there. It's freezing cold. Is that I don't think it's a bruise, but there's a swelling there, which hasn't got the other side. No, that's not good. This crop's red hot again. Oh, you poor little man. Come on, try and stand up, please. Try and get things to circulate. You don't have much to eat, but you had some to drink. Oh God, here we go again. All right, okay. Oh, I shall try and put some natural yoghurt and some brown bread and see if I can get that into him. Does it smell again? And this crop's completely empty. He's got to eat something, haven't you, little man? You've got to eat something. Put some cat's claw in there too. And that was a better noise. I say, when he's normal, when he's not fitting, he's not doing it for the minute, but he talks to, you know, he looks around, he's aware of what's going on, his tail's all limp. He looks around, sees what's going on. He answers the hens, he answers his brother. He looks like a normal rooster, and you think there was anything wrong with him at all. He's completely normal, except he doesn't move, other than when he's fitting. I say last night he walked from, I don't know, about there. He followed me to the gate there and stood at the gate and said, "Can I come in, please?" Not a fitting sight. Lovely, wonderful. Had a bit more to eat, had something to drink. I put him to bed and he lay down and slept, as the video showed. And he was like that for 2 hours. And I thought, that's it, we've cracked it. I'm also giving him oregano too, as well, to see if that helps, but I don't know. I'm trying everything, but nothing seems to be working. I don't know what happened yesterday, why all of a sudden he was normal. I don't know what part of the treatment, if any of it, was. See, he's aware of what's going on, he's answering. Yeah, now you're choking, aren't you? Yeah, now you're going to choke. You silly girl. Look at all that lot. You want to be downwind of that, not upwind of it. Put that ash in there last year to fill a hole that the rabbits had dug. And she's decided it's a good place to dust, but she won't dust in the dust hole out there where I put them out every morning so they can go and dust. Just put them out there for a couple of hours. Change of scenery, a few more insects, and I say, the dusting hole, the wallowing hole. Oh my God, she's just going to keep on. Oh, no, the other one's going to join her. Oh, my God. Well, you're going to end up with all sorts of lung problems. But there we are. So be it. But, so I don't know. I was going to phone a vet in the UK yesterday, a chicken expert, if I could find one, a chicken vet. Come on. He's getting so weak now. To ask if, you know, I gave the symptoms and what he does, if he might have a brainwave as to what it might be. Oh dear. No. Why did you fall off then? Why didn't you stay there? You silly boy. There. Alright, I'm going to go and try and have some bread and yoghurt. Mix that up. I don't know, I really don't know what to do. So this is now 7 days. And he's still alive. Gives me a full sense of hope, and then gets worse, so calm before the final countdown, I suppose. I don't know. Which is what they generally do. You think they're cured and everything's fine, just like lambs used to do. You think, okay, it's safe to go, you know, and get on and do something else now, and then you go back 5 seconds later and the damn things were dead. I always did that. And I think chickens are the same. Turkeys don't do that, they just get worse and die. But chickens, I've noticed, they seem to rally and you think, oh great, that's it, they're cured. You turn your back and then turn around and they're dead. So perhaps that's what he's going to do. But we keep trying, won't we, little man, until either you're cured or not.